I stood on the podium, preparing to hype up the new short drama starring Xia Jingxing. Suddenly, the previously shy version of him turned arrogant and defiant. Messages streamed across my vision like a furious torrent. The male lead has reincarnated. In the previous life, the secondary female character, relying on her modest fame, insisted on playing the female lead in Me and Qingqing. This fated couple never should have grown so distant. Me and Qingqing became a massive hit, catapulting the secondary female character to fame. Poor original heroine, still running extra roles in small theaters. Thank goodness everything's reset to the beginning. Now the male lead can finally break free from this tyrannical monster and spend an ashamed, embarrassed lifetime with Qingqing. Me, come on, baby, I'm a big-name star. Why would I ever want to do a short drama? The award ceremony. As a rising young star, I stood on stage, preparing my acceptance speech. The relentless pop-up messages refused to vanish from my vision, sending a cold jolt through my heart. But as a celebrity, accustomed to the glare of spotlights, I quickly composed myself. Looking down, I locked eyes with Xia Jingxing, his gaze intense, rebellious, unyielding. He hastily stood, glancing around frantically, searching for someone. Staff wanted to stop him, but since he'd entered the venue with me, they dared not press too hard. I watched in disbelief as Xia Jingxing stormed into the recording studio and dragged out a delicate-looking girl. As soon as the girl appeared, the pop-up messages went wild. The heroine's finally here. No wonder the male lead has liked her since childhood. Fresh as a lotus, her face like peach blossoms. Her aura is outstanding, absolutely nothing like that flashy, vulgar vixen. The secondary female character is stunned. In the past, the male lead sacrificed everything just for a sliver of your online exposure, signing you as the lead. Now that he knows Me and Qingqing will explode early, he'll definitely give the role to the heroine. No matter how famous you are, you're worthless now. I took a deep breath. Piece by piece, I pieced together the truth hidden among the countless messages. This entire world was based on a sweet romance novel. I was the wicked secondary female character, the scheming villain who obstructed the romance between the main male and female leads. Xia Jingxing, the protagonist, had a childhood sweetheart, Shen Qing, the heroine. They had known each other since childhood, loved each other deeply, and after enduring countless trials, finally found happiness. And I was the source of all those trials. The catalyst that broke their bond was this upcoming short drama, Me and Qingqing. Me and Qingqing was originally created with Shen Qing as the central character. Shen Qing had a dream of stardom. By day, she worked as a crew assistant in a studio. By night, she freelanced across various film sets, taking minor roles others discarded, just to hone her performance skills. I, on the other hand, came from the Yuan Group, widely recognized as the Princess of Beijing's entertainment circle. Xia Jingxing came from hardship. His father had died early, his mother was paralyzed, and he had a younger sister to support through school. I pitied him, learning he dreamed of becoming a director. I used my family's connections to secure resources, gathered a crew, and produced a youth short drama titled Me and Qingqing. Industry titans, respecting the Yuan family's status, agreed to invest, but insisted the lead female role must go to me. After intense hesitation, Xia Jingxing finally agreed. Me and Qingqing became a massive hit. I rose instantly to stardom as the lead. Xia Jingxing leveraged my fame to earn unimaginable wealth. He believed I stole Shen Qing's chance at fame, yet couldn't bear to let go of my name. So he continued working with me. Over time, we became the dominant force in the short drama industry. Heartbroken, Shen Qing left the city. Without his childhood love, Xia Jingxing poured every ounce of anger onto me. Frenzied, passionate, hateful nights with me. Then one day, news came from B City. Shen Qing had cancer. Xia Jingxing was frantic. He speeded through over a dozen red lights late at night, racing to be by her side. At the brink of life and death, they confessed their feelings, finally realizing their devotion. At the same moment, my bone marrow match was confirmed. Despite my pregnancy, Xia Jingxing forcibly dragged me to the operating table to donate bone marrow for Shen Qing. The following year, Shen Qing recovered fully. The two held their world-renowned wedding, and now, Xia Jingxing has returned, bringing everything back to its starting point. From fragments of comments streaming in, The reason behind this twist was that the plot of this sweet romance novel was too cliched, readers voted, and the author rewrote the story. What I'm witnessing right now is the barrage of comments from fans of the original couple. Xia Jingxing pulls Shen Qing's hand and rushes onto the award stage. I hereby announce that the female lead of No My Qingqing is now Shen Qing. His tone is impatient. Yuan Weiqi, if you really like it that much, I'll reserve the role of second female lead for you. Shen Qing has never experienced such a scene before. Below her, media lights flash non-stop, the harsh white glare making her eyes hurt. Her white sneakers shuffle slightly, leaning into Xia Jingxing's chest. The ice-cold goddess suddenly throwing herself into his arms leaves him so overwhelmed with joy that he fails to notice the mocking glances from the crowd. In his previous life, Xia Jingxing had no money and no connections, yet he harbored a dream of becoming a big director. He exploded onto the scene, and his short drama episode racked up over 100 million views. He became the hottest rising director. Investors flocked to him, eager to throw money his way. This success bred his arrogant, defiant personality. Standing on the award stage, he pulls Shen Qing up to the spot originally meant for me. The host stammers awkwardly. Wiping cold sweat while nervously glancing at my expression, I maintain a polite smile and politely decline. Sorry, I'm not interested in short dramas. Smiling at the media, I calmly take the arm of the male celebrity beside me. Thank you all so much for supporting my upcoming TV series. Now, please welcome our male lead to say a few words. What's going on? Is the side character insane? How dare she talk to the male lead like that? Humph. She must be jealous of the lead couple's relationship. She's deliberately throwing herself at another man to provoke him. Manipulative woman. Even without her, the male lead can still make an excellent short drama. With Qingqing as the lead, he'll pour genuine emotion into it. Selling another 100 million won't be a problem. Aya, help. I want to see the male and female leads falling in love in the drama. Xia Jingxing freezes, freshly returned from death. He's still strutting around in his old, overbearing attitude, irritation flickering in his eyes. He leans toward me, whispering into my ear, Yuan Weiqi, don't push it too far. Letting you play the second female lead is already a favor. Today's a rare opportunity. Hurry up and promote, No My Qingqing, otherwise, you won't get the role at all. His expression bristles with impatience. He shoots me a warning glance. Assuming I'm throwing a tantrum just to make him jealous, I let out a sarcastic half-smile. The crowd below goes quiet, eyes full of scorn and disdain. This shift unsettles Xia Jingxing deeply. He hasn't yet realized that the story this time has veered wildly off course. Seeing I don't respond, he finally snaps, snatches the microphone, and tries to announce the new series himself. Beep, 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 a loud buzzing sound. The microphone is cut off, without my support. The event organizers won't indulge him. Xia Jingxing is forcibly removed from the stage. Witnessing her lover humiliated, Shen Qing rushes forward like a hen protecting her chick, spreading her arms to shield him. It's okay, I believe in you. Even without Yuan Weiqi, you'll still make this short drama amazing. Encouraged by Shen Qing, Xia Jingxing straightens his back. Over the years, thanks to the Yuan family's resources, he's been pampered well, radiating the aura of a corporate elite. His refined, proud jawline barely turns, and the security guards remain frozen in place. No doubt, he's handsome, but in entertainment, beauty is the most common commodity. I warmly hand the microphone to the male celebrity beside me. The star looks utterly bewildered, the mic stuck to his lips. He stumbles through random plot ideas. No matter what he says, I clap in approval, guided by me. The audience bursts into applause. Even a well-known actor stands up in front of everyone, volunteering to play a supporting role. The atmosphere on stage reaches its peak. I bet the side character won't last 3 days before she goes begging to the male lead. What a disgusting woman. She could just stay a loyal tool. Why mess up the plot? Aya, my little sweet treat. At that moment, a faint golden comment shot forward, but the male lead's past achievements were made possible thanks to the side character. Now that she's withdrawing her support, Xia Jingxing is just a poor kid. Why would she go begging to him? The comments section froze instantly. Then, an onslaught of abuse poured in. I narrowed my eyebrows, pretending not to see it, but fury was boiling in my chest, ready to explode. I'm the only daughter of the Yuan family conglomerate. half of the entertainment industry's resources are in Yuan family hands. I've lived a life of luxury since childhood, never known hardship. The first time I saw one of my bodyguards frightened by a stray dog, I decided to teach the dog a lesson. When Wu Jiafeng arrived, he looked utterly stunned. Sis, you're really giving me the lead role. I raised an eyebrow slightly and nodded. Still dazed from the lead role news, I handed him 3 more contracts at once: cover of an internationally renowned fashion magazine, guest appearance on the next issue of Excitement Central. The puppy-like rookie, starstruck and wide-eyed, looked at me like I was a fragrant, juicy bone. I was satisfied with his reaction. Emotional value achieved. I selected a picturesque location for shooting and frowned as I surveyed the entire scenic area. I pulled out my black card and tossed it to the manager. Keep the most beautiful spots in your park reserved for us. The manager beamed and invited me to the VIP lounge. As soon as I stepped in, I heard a loud argument in the center of the hall. I glanced over. It was the male lead's reincarnated self, and his beloved childhood sweetheart. I had to admit, his past success had forged an unmistakable aura of leadership. Even without Yuan family support, his white t-shirt and jeans made a strong impression, so much so that the hall manager didn't dare treat him lightly. Wait, renting for just 1 day costs 50,000, so expensive. Shen Qing turned anxiously toward Xia Jingxing. Ah, Xia, do we even have that much money? Holding the pricing sheet, Shen Qing was close to tears. She earned only 100 yuan for a day as a background extra. 50,000 would take her weeks of grueling work. Xia Jingxing wrapped his arm around her shoulder. Don't worry, that kind of money used to be just the price of a bottle of alcohol for me. Having soothed his childhood sweetheart, he turned to the manager. Regarding contract pricing, you're not authorized to make decisions. Send your supervisor, I'll negotiate with him. The manager's lips twitched. I'm sorry, I am the supervisor. Seeing the two looked like destitute nothings, he patronized Shen Qing while discreetly switching between browser tabs on his phone. Searching, Xia Jingxing, online. Xia Jingxing frowned, clearly annoyed. My short drama is going to blow up. Letting us film here will attract tons of tourists to your site. That should be. Just then, I stepped gracefully into the hall in high heels. The receptionist dramatically called out, Mayor, serve the latest Bulgari afternoon tea. The manager standing before Xia Jingxing stamped his foot and hurried toward me with a bright smile. Mess, Yuan, it's been a while, please, this way. I nodded approvingly. This emotional value, priceless. Xia Jingxing glanced in my direction, eyes brimming with irritation and disdain. He probably thought I couldn't let go of the chance to profit from my precious Jingxing's sudden success. That I'd try to manipulate him while he struggled to secure a filming location. Wait, Xia Jingxing raised his hand, blocking my path. Don't you understand the principle of first come, first served? I came here first to discuss rental terms. Xia Jingxing straightened his back, tightening his spine, as if that somehow restored his dignity. This, Shen Qing squinted at me, blinked rapidly, then hurried over and slipped her arm through Xia Jingxing's elbow, a smile playing on her lips. Hello, Yuan sister, I'm Shen Qing. She tilted her head, extending her hand as if to shake mine. I snorted coldly. For the sake of politeness, I quickly touched the tip of her fingertips. That slight contact triggered something, an invisible switch. Shen Qing instantly blushed, her eyes glowing with sweetness as she looked at Xia Jingxing. Earlier, Xia confessed to me. I didn't dare believe it at first. After all, Yuan's sister is so beautiful. How could you two suddenly break up? Ah. So it's. Shen Qing glanced sideways at Wu Jiafeng, her tone laden with implication. But it doesn't matter. Now that Xia has left you, I'll take care of him from now on. With that, Shen Qing lifted her head and lightly brushed her lips across Xia Jingxing's cheek. Playfully, arrogantly, the stream of pop-up comments appeared again before my eyes. Aya, so sweet. The ML is getting his dopamine hit again. Look, his ears turned red. Love and bread will both come. Jingxing baby, don't worry. You've got a future CEO for a man, money flowing like water. Will the female side character stir up trouble again? Please, just behave. Stop interrupting this little couple. Just provide connections and funds and stay quiet. Of course, only the crazy can appreciate a crazy drama. The cuckolds love cuckolds. Xia Jingxing cleared his throat lightly. Pleased with Shenqing's subservient posture, in the last life, when he was with me, he relied on the connections and funding from the Yuan family, always mocked for being someone who lived off his wife's wealth. He looked down on me for my flashy lifestyle, thought I was an unambitious rich kid destined to drain my parents dry forever, yet he secretly cherished the sense of privilege that came with being the Yuan family's son-in-law, the deep, unspoken craving for sycophancy and respect. Double standards. Before I could speak, Wu Jiafeng charged out from behind me. What kind of nonsense is this, little green arrow? Our Yuan's only 18, 3 years younger than you, calling me sister all the time. If you're not even legal yet, how about that? Shenqing's face turned crimson. I couldn't help but burst out laughing. This little puppy is too honest. Didn't he know that sister was a term used for a former lover, after taking down the fake green tea girl? He turned on the male ungrateful wolf. He stepped directly in front of Xia Jingxing, their noses almost touching. Okay, fine, I checked. This little puppy wins by 1 centimeter. He stood tall, commanding. You, kid, be careful what you say out here. Our Yuan is beautiful inside and out. She even worries about stray dogs on the roadside and gives them a sausage. Your mouth's been fed sausages. Don't go eating shit. If I hear you call Yuan your ex again, I'll beat you up. I nodded in approval. Not bad. Tomorrow I'll treat him to a movie, for Xia Jingxing's sake. Since he arrived first, I'll give him 10 minutes. This scenic spot frequently hosted film crews, with a dedicated set-building team and excellent service, but understandably high prices. Last time, Xia Jingxing had no clue what real hardship was. Every detail was demanded at the highest standard, without once worrying about cost. Now, paying his own way made him realize just how expensive everything truly was. Mr. Xia. All venue fees are fixed, renting for 10 days. That's 500,000 yuan, no exceptions. Shenqing cowered behind him, too scared to speak. Xia Jingxing checked his bank balance, then gritted his teeth and suggested, I'll pay a 50,000 deposit first, the rest after filming wraps up. Laughter erupted around him. Wu Jiafeng couldn't hold back. Bro, you can't even scrape together 500,000. You might as well give up on your director dreams. Xia Jingxing's face turned dark. Shut up. A minor celebrity like you, do you even have the right to speak here? His voice was low, cold, so undeniably that of a mafia boss. In his past life, he'd started with short dramas, saved up capital, and launched his own entertainment company. With my introduction, he signed several experienced industry veterans. Suddenly, he was a rising star, so powerful that many celebrities wanted to join his team. He'd met plenty of sycophants, but never one who dared publicly ridicule him like Wu Jiafeng. At this moment, I raised my black card. Xia Jingxing cast me a look of utter disgust. Who said you had to pay? He shoved his hands into his pockets and strolled toward me with aristocratic grace. Yuan, I won't use a single penny from you, but don't even dream about stealing the lead role. He seemed finally satisfied, as if releasing a long-suppressed frustration. Even without your stinky money, I can still make. No, my youth. I was speechless, in front of him. I pointed at my watch. Who said I was paying to help you? The 10 minutes are up. Now it's my turn to book the location. Xia Jingxing stood frozen, embarrassed. Only now did he realize, ever since he'd come back from the dead, I had never once said I wanted to be the female lead in No My Youth. Even in my previous life, I had only reluctantly agreed to play the role under investors' pressure. The chat stream grew frantic. What if the secondary character refuses to pay? This is the most beautiful scenery here. Where else can you capture that youthful, dreamy atmosphere? Come on, why is the secondary character so cruel? If the male lead doesn't like her, she doesn't have to pay. The comments split into two camps. A faint golden stream of opposing voices began to proliferate. Come on, can the male lead just be normal? Asking the secondary character to pay is just a quick twist, sis. Quit being so rigid about gender. Fancy being a superstar too, bro. Move over, I'll take the free meals. I snorted in amusement. As expected, most people in this world still make sense. I'm the heiress of the Yuan group. What kind of handsome men do I not have access to? I've got money. I can make anyone a star. The concierge bowed fawningly and took the black card. Miss Yuan, how many days would you like to reserve? I counted on my fingers. a high-budget TV drama required time. From pre-production to completion, first, book half a year, if it's not enough. Extend later, got it. The mini-faced dog grinned wildly and bent over, practically groveling like a servant. Xia Jingxing sneered, such a spineless weakling. The little puppy followed his no self-criticism principle. He didn't tolerate annoyance, and he reacted violently immediately. Yeah, I'm weak-kneed. My sister likes it. You're tough. That means something's wrong under the waist. Xia Jingxing, spoiled and pampered all his life. His tongue floundered, trying to find coherence. But failed. In fury, he could only huff. Hey, Wu, do you know who I am? His tone sharp with impatience. He warned, I advise you, don't push things too far. Even if you beg me on your knees later, I won't so much as glance at you. The little puppy erupted in maniacal laughter, pulled out his phone, and seriously began searching. Who am I? No rush. Let me just Google it. Wait, can't find you on Baidu. No problem. I'll use Sogu. Sogu definitely knows you. Xia Jingxing turned and stormed off. Before leaving, he glared at me with supreme arrogance. Don't underestimate the young and poor. There's an old saying in China, fortune doesn't last 3 generations. Yuan yuan yuan, I'm waiting for the day you fall. Oh my god, this is too hilarious. Wealth might not last 3 generations, but poverty, it never even lasts one. For a full month, Xia Jingxing never showed his face. I reveled in my freedom, casually accepting several variety shows, under capital manipulation. I grew steadily more famous in the entertainment world, but unlike the previous life, without Xia Jingxing, that cursed oaf, I was fully immersed in my career. My father was thrilled with me. The old man gradually stepped back, handing me some of the family's entertainment business to manage. Suddenly, I was running non-stop, yet no matter how busy I was, I kept track of Xia Jingxing's developments through the endless stream of live comments. What's going on? It's been this long. Why hasn't the secondary character apologized to the lead guy yet? The heroine's so tragic, working hard, even borrowing money to help the male lead shoot a short series. Ugh, they're eating cabbage again tonight. Constant bickering between them makes your heart ache. I signed up for a sweet romance, not a soap opera about suffering. If this keeps up, I'm quitting. Shen Qing and Xia Jingxing kept arguing every few days. Shen Qing suggested he stay grounded and start by hiring minor actors with low costs. Xia Jingxing absolutely refused, determined to use well-known stars instead, spending every day running from one actor's agency to another. Yet no actor would deign to meet with him. They all shut their doors. Only one kind-hearted agent finally told him the truth. Mr. Xia, the celebrities you've invited are all at least second tier. They each have countless endorsements, each worth tens of millions. Top-tier dramas come to them by the dozen every month. How could your short series possibly interest them? It's not your short series that would make them famous. It's they who would elevate your production. Xia Jingxing turned pale, then red, utterly flustered. After days of exhausting efforts, he drained his last savings, and every meal, drink, and living expense had been paid for by Shen Qing. Shen Qing, fed up, began to complain bitterly. No money, no progress. After failing repeatedly, Xia Jingxing finally came to his senses and lowered his pride, calling me. Unfortunately, I'd already thrown away my phone card, unable to reach me. Xia Jingxing angrily blocked my number and secretly vowed never to forgive me. During that time, the little puppy came to see me a few times. I ran my fingers over his muscular chest and muttered in amazement, red aura, truly nourishing. As promised, the drama I tailored for him employed elite industry talent, all top tier. The veteran actors demanded perfection in rehearsal, and the little puppy was pushed to his limits. Under such rigorous training, his performance improved dramatically. With his good looks and rising skill, his fame grew rapidly, both within and beyond the industry, and he became increasingly devoted to me. Once, I woke up to find him bare-chested, wearing only a kitchen apron, cooking breakfast at the stove. His 8-pack abs, paired with the black-trimmed apron, stirred the appetite. His care kept our home in perfect order. Fruit was always fresh, flowers changed weekly, and small charming gifts arrived daily. Yet he was also mindful and discreet. He never revealed our relationship in public and never gave paparazzi a trace to exploit. I found his tact deeply satisfying. I introduced him to 2 more seasoned industry figures, Miss Yuan, please wait just a moment. Master Wang is thrilled you've arrived and wants to personally greet you and show you his latest artwork. The assistant brought over 2 cups of coffee. Master Wang was a legend in the industry. Half the current A-list celebrities were his disciples, and he controlled vast resources. In my previous life, I'd used the Yuan family's connections to introduce Xia Jingxing to Master Wang, but Xia Jingxing didn't appreciate it. He'd mocked Master Wang's artwork in public, leaving him humiliated. For days after, I drank to drown my guilt, until my stomach ruptured. From a pampered lady untouched by hardship, I became a perpetually exhausted caretaker, entirely due to Xia Jingxing's selfishness. This time around, I wouldn't be that foolish again. The little puppy read the mood perfectly. After adding 3 spoons of cream, he stirred and handed it to me. I took a delicate sip, just right, well balanced, slightly salty. Suddenly, a voice shattered the silence. Yuan Yuan Yuan. Xia Jingxing stood in the bathroom doorway, wearing faded jeans. I frowned, his face was ashen with anger. He rushed forward, gripping my wrist. Tell me, did you do this? All the actors I've approached refused to star in my short series. Was it you behind the scenes, sabotaging me? He yanked my arm hard. Hot coffee spilled onto my dress, darkening it instantly. He glared at Wu Jiafeng standing nearby. And you still messing around with other men? What kind of image is that? He yanked me up, dragging me toward the senior artist's studio. Come, I'm taking you to meet Master Wang. If he agrees to join Jiwa Qingqing, then I'll forgive you. I broke free from his grip. He stared at me, stunned. What do you mean? I raised my hand, thumb and forefinger forming an okay sign. He took a deep breath. A sly smile curled at the corner of his lips. I get it. In the end, you just want to be my leading lady. All right, I agree. But right now, you have to come with me to see Teacher Wang. I rolled my eyes, waving the okay hand gesture I had in my hand. Yuan Yuan Yuan. I've already made concessions. Don't push your luck. My tone remained bland. The shirt you ruined is a Xiangxiang haute couture piece, 3,000 per set, scan or cash. I rubbed my head, gesturing toward the crowd surrounding us. Everyone here is a disciple of Teacher Wang. Director Xia, you can't possibly not have 30,000 yuan on you, can you? Xia Jingxing gritted his teeth, humiliation forcing him to pull out his phone to pay. He switched from WeChat to Alipay. Neither card worked. Frustrated, he scratched his head. His bank account was empty. Finally forced to confront reality, his voice softened. He turned away, shielding his eyes from onlookers. Yuan Yuan, stop this. Whatever it is, let's talk about it at home. Right now, the priority is going to see Teacher Wang with me. Teacher Wang was a veteran in the entertainment industry, with countless students under his name. Xia Jingxing was confident that as long as he convinced Teacher Wang, the rest of the cast would fall in line. Besides, knowing Qingqing would be even more popular than it had been in his previous life. I just felt exasperated. The little puppy, sensing my discomfort, patted Xia Jingxing's shoulder. Are you really broke and can't afford to pay? He was literally my voice. The little puppy stepped in front of me. Hey, hardbone. Why do I always run into you no matter where I go? Yuan Yuan helped you before because she was kind, do you get it? Even if it wasn't you, but Zhang San or Li Si with dreams, as long as she wanted to, she'd help them. Xia Jingxing's veins bulged. Who gave you permission to call her Yuan Yuan? He swung and cracked his fist into the little puppy's face. Blood instantly sprayed out. The little puppy stared in disbelief. Damn, did you die violently in your last life? You're so full of resentment. The live chat exploded in excitement. Aya, so hot, so hot. The male lead is way too attractive when angry. Girl lead, aren't you completely smitten? This plot twist doesn't make sense. Why is the male lead so bothered by the girl lead's little puppy? Is there a romance subplot? Another wave of comments reacted even more strongly. Is this guy mentally ill? Why hit someone for no reason? Exactly, the little puppy is so hot. I love him, with such unstable emotions. No wonder the female lead refuses to spend money on him. I was exhausted. Maybe in my previous life, I truly loved Xia Jingxing. I unconditionally spent money on him, sacrificed myself to help him build a company, and turned him into an elite. But now, we have no romantic connection. From the very beginning, I only saw that he had dreams and drive, so I chose to support him. I never thought I'd become the leading lady of his short film, let alone die for him. I quickly dialed 120, then 110. Hello, 110, there's someone assaulting another person. Yes, yes, I've got proof. Xia Jingxing was arrested and taken to the police station. After a round of mediation, the little puppy finally relented and agreed to forgive him, but only if Xia Jingxing apologized. I'm sorry, louder, Xia Jingxing snarled again, glaring. I said I'm sorry. Okay, guess I'm feeling generous today. Let's drop it. I picked up my bag, propped my legs up, and shook my head. No. You have to pay for the medical expenses. The officer agreed it was reasonable. Xia Jingxing stared at me, utterly stunned, trembling with rage. I truly hated that look on his face. In my previous life, I gave him my heart and soul. I bowed and scraped to help him get connections, drank with clients, sacrificed everything just to enable his dream. But his worthless pride thought every single penny I spent was an insult to his dignity. All right then, let's make things crystal clear. I opened my WeChat. Registration and bandaging cost 547 yuan. Scan and pay. Xia Jingxing roared. You're so rich. Why torment me like this? You want to insult me with money? Fine, you win. I'll give you the lead role in Knowing Qingqing. Please, just stop making a fuss. Because of you, I've already wasted so much time. If this continues, I'll miss my chance to go viral. The little puppy dog looked utterly bewildered, but I understood. He was talking about the massive traffic surge during the National Day 7-day holiday. As the first short-form drama in China with a coming-of-age theme, its storyline was tightly gripping and utterly addicting. In just 3 days, in-app purchases had surpassed 500 million yuan. But what he didn't know was that I'd personally stayed up all night rewriting scripts and obsessively editing to secure that timing, operating on a 007 schedule. My relentless work had made the post-production team utterly fed up. Now, without me running around for him, he still thinks he'll become famous. Not in this lifetime. The old flip phone suddenly rang, muffled through the pocket. The noisy ringtone sounded ridiculously cheap. Xia Jingxing turned pale, turned away, fished out his phone, and quickly ended the call. He exhaled sharply and reached for me, pleading, please, don't do this. Yuan, I know you love me, can't we just start over? He lowered his head slightly, turning his face sideways, trying to strike what he believed was his most handsome pose. Yuan, before he could finish, the old phone rang again, answered, then rang once more, answered again and it rang again. Finally, Xia Jingxing lost his temper and answered, voice low and strained, Shenqing, what exactly do you want? The old phone's poor quality made Shenqing's hysterical voice echo from the other end. Why did you keep charging me again? Why? 3 million yuan, how am I supposed to pay that back? Xia Jingxing had used Shenqing's credit card to pay for his high-end custom suit. Don't panic, once my new project earns me big money, I'll pay you back right away. On the other end, Shenqing's voice cracked with tears. You're shameless, you're spending everything I have on food and drinks, and you still dream of becoming a big director. Do you know how broke I am? So broke I'm seriously considering selling you. Sobs mingled with angry shouts from the photography studio. Shenqing wiped her nose sharply, voice now unnervingly calm. Where are you? I'm coming to find you right now. Xia Jingxing stared ahead, his face dark with worry. Immediately hanging up, he didn't understand. Just 300,000 yuan. Why was she holding onto it so tightly? I was speechless. You can't afford to drink fancy nutrition drinks when you're broke. Xia Jingxing kept going, relentless. Yuan, in our past life. You were willing to die for me. I only made a mistake every man makes eventually. If you just come back to me, I promise, starting now, I'll cut all ties with Shenqing. Now not only did the little puppy dog's expression change, it even caught the attention of the police behind him, who in their right mind talks about reincarnation and past lives so casually. The police officer tapped his badge-attached walkie-talkie. Hey, someone's showing signs of mental illness, requesting backup. The little puppy patted Xia Jingxing's shoulder, struggling to speak. Bro, you take the trophy for relentless pursuit. Xia Jingxing spoke with heartfelt sorrow, pouring out his supposed longing. Taking a deep breath, he mustered the courage to reveal everything. His reincarnation. Yuan, do you know, actually, I've come back from the future, In my previous life, you donated bone marrow to Shenqing, you died on the operating table. That moment, it felt like the world collapsed. I was filled with remorse, regret I'd never recover from, but then, miraculously, heaven granted me a second chance. When I returned, you were up on stage, hottest star in the country, promoting Knowing Qingqing, just like before in my previous life. From that moment, I decided, you couldn't be the lead in Knowing Qingqing. That role belonged to Shenqing, specifically crafted just for her. Xia Jingxing sighed in relief, as though he'd lifted a mountain from his shoulders. Once Shenqing gets the lead role, she won't harbor such strong resentment toward us. Trust me, I still love you, deeply. Once Qingqing gets over her grudge, the three of us could, even now, Xia Jingxing still dreams of being the ideal man, sharing a perfect relationship with two women, like the legendary Huang and Nuying. The little puppy stared wide-eyed, taking a long time to catch his breath. Bro, are you even born from a hero? How can you be so amazing? The police officer stood frozen, staring into the walkie-talkie. Order more reinforcements from headquarters. There aren't enough people to contain the situation. I kept smiling, treating Xia Jingxing like nothing more than a joke. When he saw my smile, he thought I was merely reliving the past, wanting to see him humbled and groveling, just like last time. A bitter laugh escaped him. Yuan, I admit I can't live without you. I promise you, I'll be your boyfriend. Let's reconcile. As he took 2 steps forward, reaching out to embrace me. Wait, I stopped him with a hand. Mr. Xia, have I ever said I wanted you to be my boyfriend? And don't think faking instability will save you. The medical bill is 547 yuan. Scan the code and pay up. Xia Jingxing's desperate posture made the live chat explode with messages. This guy's love life is pure mooching, eating off his woman's hard work. The side character has finally woken up. Clearly, this guy just wants her money. This is what strong women should watch. Just as tension reached a peak, Shenqing ran over. Dog of a man, pay up. Her eyes caught me at a glance. Fury flared in her. Great, you spend my card on other women. I'll rip your face off. I stood at the center in a brand new Dior set, the fabric shimmering beautifully, obviously fresh off a rack. Shenqing assumed Xia Jingxing had bought this for me. Seriously, I've got dozens of such outfits in my chauffeur-driven wardrobe. The little puppy stepped in front of me, explaining that Xia Jingxing had ruined my clothes and the 30,000 yuan was compensation. Shenqing still didn't believe him, until she saw the security footage. Then she finally backed down, glaring at Xia Jingxing. She muttered bitterly, wastrel. Xia Jingxing exploded. What did you say? That 30,000 yuan. Back in my time, it wouldn't even buy one pair of shoes. Shenqing scoffed. Past. Did you hit your head? All the money for your dramas was me footing. I maxed out my credit cards just to help you. The once pure, gentle moonlight figure now appeared so materialistic that Xia Jingxing couldn't bear it. If it weren't for you, I would have been with Yuan long ago. It's all your fault. You're useless. No connections, no influence. I needed to reach famous stars and big actors. You couldn't help me with a single one. Shenqing clenched her fists, then shoved him hard. Pay up. You owe me 178,000 yuan. Every single penny, no less. She screamed, desperate. I quietly slipped away. If it weren't for Xia Jingxing relentlessly chasing me, I might never have wanted to see him again. The business assets left in my hands by the old man had skyrocketed in value. And he'd handed me 2 new projects too. With my unique investment instincts, I invested in several promising companies. All of a sudden, I was raking in huge profits. The little puppy still kept in touch with me, knowing I liked novelty. He'd often organize gatherings, introducing me to fresh new faces from the entertainment world. I was generous, so the younger talent all liked me. Ancient-style beauties, solemn Buddhist monks, proud little cyber dogs, no doubt. The entertainment world was a real melting pot, filling every kind of handsome man. My love life was blazing, my life full of color and spice, but I still kept up with his news. The live chat updated in real time, each day feeding me the latest humiliating details about Xia Jingxing. Shenqing sued Xia Jingxing. Filming of Knowing Qingqing was forced to stop. All the initial investment vanished like smoke. Xia Jingxing was buried under mountains of debt. The massive debt forced him to abandon his dream of becoming a director. He worked odd jobs while hiding from his creditors, trapped in an alley by loan sharks. He had no money to repay them. The leader of the gang broke one of his fingers. Xia Jingheng screamed in agony, "Let me go. I can get money. Once I get it, I'll pay you back." The gang didn't believe him. Trembling, Xia Jingheng fumbled for his phone and pulled up a photo from his album. "Look, Yuan was my ex-girlfriend. I still have pictures of her on my phone. If I call her, she'll definitely send me a large sum of money." The gang burst into laughter. "You expect us to believe you're holding up some poster photos? Do you really think we're 3-year-olds? They spat in his face. "Puh, take a good look at yourself. Who do you think you are? Pretending to know Director Yuan." Brothers, beat him. The alley was dim and shadowy. Xia Jingheng lay on the ground like a dead dog, reaching with his trembling limbs. He struggled to keep his phone in hand. Tears and snot streaked his face as he kept pressing buttons while sobbing. Ding. "Sorry, the number you have dialed is not in service." The cold, mechanical voice echoed through the alley. Xia Jingheng froze. Then he stared blankly, laughing deliriously, a guttural, beast-like howl escaping his throat. After hearing the first story above, what are your thoughts? Feel free to share your opinions in the comments section. Next, there is another similar story. Let's continue to see. At the graduation party, I held 2 glasses of red wine and walked toward our class's impoverished genius, smiling sweetly. "Big scholar, care for a toast?" The live comments exploded. "Shouldn't the second female lead be drugging the male lead? Why is she offering wine to the male second? Is this a rewrite? I like this adaptation. Love the fangirl energy of the mentally unstable girl and the pure-hearted boy, male second. Please don't drink it, you don't have the main character's luck. Once you drink, you'll become the mad girl's prisoner, locked away in a little black room for life." Tang Zhou had just been about to reach for the glass, but froze the moment the comments appeared. Watching his hesitation, I frowned slightly. Did he see them too? The next second, Tang Zhou apologized. "Sorry, I need to go home and take care of my younger sister. I can't drink alcohol." I kept my expression calm, placing the wine glass onto a nearby table before handing him a glass of juice with a polite smile. "Sorry for not thinking. I hope the juice is okay. I didn't add anything, just wanted to get him drunk, to see what he looked like when intoxicated. I'd forgotten he had a younger sister with congenital heart disease." Slip up. Tang Zhou was shyly nodding. "Sounds good," seeing his face turn rosier. I almost lost control of the dark desire bubbling inside me, barely resisting the urge to lock him up immediately in the special little black room I'd prepared for him, then ravage him. "No, no, no, I can't do that. He's so timid, he'll be terrified. Better to use the slow, gradual method, soft and subtle, until he willingly surrenders his heart." Did I just imagine it? The look the second female lead just gave the male second, it looked like she wanted to devour him. Yuri not imagining it, she really did seem desperate to eat him alive. Confirmed, the second female lead's fallen for the male second. Male second, run, you've been targeted by a Yandera psycho, your heart will be forcibly claimed. Suddenly, Tang Zhou choked on the juice and started coughing, clutching his mouth. I studied him closely. After easing his cough, he whispered sheepishly, "I drank too fast." Sorry. Seeing his flushed cheeks from coughing made my heart throb with desire. I swallowed hard. "Be careful." Tang Zhou nodded obediently. After exchanging a few polite words, I moved on to greet others. I mustn't seem too eager. Doing so might repel him. Better to go slow. Be patient. Tang Zhou's background was tragic. Dead father, remarried mother, elderly grandmother, and a younger sister with a severe illness. Just that heartbreaking origin story alone made my heart race. I chatted with other classmates not far from Tang Zhou, occasionally glancing over at him. Though poor, his looks were strikingly beautiful, beyond ordinary. Combined with brilliant academic performance, many female classmates had secretly liked him, and within just a few minutes, 3 girls approached him, trying to strike up conversation. It's natural to admire beauty. I knew I shouldn't think like this, but I couldn't help feeling deep revulsion toward those girls. Holy crap. The second female lead's Yandera ghost vibes are bleeding through the screen. I'm scared for the male second. Might get kidnapped by her tonight and forcibly taken. The second female lead built a soundproof little black room, originally intended for the male lead. Now it seems to be her gift to the male second. Perhaps my gaze had been too obvious. Tang Zhou suddenly turned his head and looked toward me. I raised my smile into a harmless, innocent expression. He flinched as if burned, gave a tiny nod, then quickly turned away, eager to look elsewhere. He's so sweet and adorable. Should I lock him in today? Nah, I'll wait and see. Maybe he'll actually listen to me. If I force him, he'll never again give me that innocent, completely unguarded smile. It was half a month ago that I hit my head, after which I suddenly started seeing live comments. Thanks to those comments, I finally pieced together the story. The male lead is my arranged marriage partner, Song Rui. The female lead is the real heiress, Lin Ruowei. I am the villainous side character who harbors unrequited feelings for the male lead, while Tang Zhou is the devoted but unnoticed male secondary character who quietly protects the heroine. Lin Ruowei is the biological daughter accidentally lost by my adoptive parents, while I am their adopted daughter, a substitute to ease their grief over the missing child. Originally, Song Rui and I were supposed to marry, but after meeting Lin Ruowei, he refused. When I found out, I relentlessly targeted and framed Lin Ruowei, only to suffer the consequences myself, cast aside, deserted, and ultimately dying on the streets. In contrast, Lin Ruowei reunites with her real parents, and Song Rui eventually ends up with her. Tang Zhou, the loyal male secondary character, remains devoted to Lin Ruowei all his life, never marrying. I couldn't stand Song Rui's arrogant, sarcastic attitude. He's repulsive. Instead, Tang Zhou, the shy, vulnerable kind of guy who looks easy to take advantage of, is exactly my type. No matter what, I'm determined to claim Tang Zhou. Methods don't matter. Deceit, trickery, coercion, any means necessary. Midway through the gathering, Tang Zhou quietly left after saying goodbye to the class monitor. I kept a close eye on him and immediately followed. According to the plot, Tang Zhou is supposed to start his summer job tomorrow at a milk tea shop, where he'll meet Lin Ruowei. Kind, optimistic, and radiant like a little sun, she'll become the light in his otherwise bleak life, making him fall deeply in love with her. But now, I will be that light, even if it's just an act. Tang Zhou, hearing my call, Tang Zhou turned around, revealing his pale, delicate face with his usual shy smile. Is something wrong? I stepped quickly beside him, feigning hesitation. I heard you're looking for summer work. Could I hire you to take care of me for 2 months? My aunt is going back to her hometown on vacation, and I don't want to bother finding someone else. 200,000 yuan per month. Before Tang Zhou could answer, the live comment feed exploded. The innocent little rabbit, the male secondary character, is walking into the villainess's trap. This is a sugar-coated bomb. Don't agree, male secondary character, or you'll pay for it for the rest of your life. The heroine will return to the Wen family soon. She'll help you then. Don't be foolish, male secondary character. I glared irritably at the barrage of comments. I just wanted to prevent Tang Zhou from meeting the heroine. Hadn't planned anything worse for him yet. Let's see. He refuses. Fine, I'll think of another way. Maybe introduce him to a better part-time job. Thank you, I accept, Tang Zhou said softly, eyes downcast. But I don't need that much. Just pay me as much as your aunt's salary. I suppressed a triumphant grin, forcing my tone to sound pure and innocent. My aunt's salary is exactly that. Send me your bank account number, and I'll transfer it right now. Tang Zhou shook his head. 1 month's payment is enough for now, the rest after the job ends. Reasonable enough. I nodded. Fine. I added an extra 5,000 for groceries. As for his younger sister's surgery costs, once we're closer, I'll lend him the money as a loan. Then I'll become his irreplaceable savior. Perfect plan. The comments were in despair. Male secondary character, you're done for, paying your life's price for just 40,000 yuan. But, the villainess might still have a sliver of humanity. If you cooperate, she probably won't lock you up. Normal romance is sweet, but twisted romance is far more thrilling. I love it. I want to see it. He. After a few seconds of silence, Tang Zhou asked shyly again, starting tomorrow. Yeah, I'll send you the address. I like to sleep in, usually wake up around 9:30, so there's no need to come too early. I live alone in a spacious apartment near campus. My adoptive father once claimed it was for convenience with school, but I know the real reason. My adoptive mother is emotionally unstable. Every time she sees me, she thinks of her lost biological daughter and often breaks down. That's why she kicked me out of the house early, fortunately. My adoptive father never neglected me financially, 30,000 yuan monthly allowance, and this apartment is also under my name. He even hired a nanny solely to care for me. I'd already sent the nanny back to her hometown on paid vacation. Maybe I'd stayed up too late the previous night from excitement, because when I woke up the next day, it was already 10 o'clock. I hurriedly opened my chat app and discovered Tang Zhou had messaged me an hour ago. I nearly threw myself off the bed and rushed out barefoot without bothering to put on shoes. Sorry, I overslept. Next time, just knock or call me directly. Tang Zhou was crouched by the wall, lost in thought, with vegetables and meat he brought along scattered beside him. Upon hearing the door open, he immediately stood and offered a shy smile. It's all right, I didn't wait long. Tomorrow's still at 9:30, I won't oversleep. Come in. Tang Zhou entered and changed into slippers. He seemed to want to say something, but after glancing at me, he briefly turned his head, a faint blush creeping along his pale earlobe. Perhaps you should get dressed first. I looked down at myself and suddenly understood. I was wearing a sleeveless slip dress with built-in padding, nothing revealing, but since he was a full head taller than me, from his angle, there was probably quite a bit visible. I found it amusing and playfully pretended ignorance. Is this not okay? Tang Zhou's face instantly turned crimson, his speech stumbling, and no problem. Is Miss Tu doing this on purpose? She's so skilled at flirting. How can Boy Tu, so pure, possibly resist? I have a feeling he'll be completely captivated. Not necessarily. Depends on how the plot unfolds. Still, I'm definitely shipping this pairing, even if he's pure. He's still a hormonal young man, with Miss Tu's teasing. I can already picture him exploding. Ha ha ha. I loved the way he looked so flustered and shy, but I also knew I shouldn't push too far, or I might scare him off. I was rushing to answer the door and didn't have time to change. Just wait a moment. I'll go change. Tang Zhou softly murmured and okay. I returned to the bedroom and pulled out the white dress I'd set aside the night before. I also applied a natural-looking light makeup, truly a delicate, innocent little white flower. I couldn't believe I couldn't charm him. This carefree, love-naive boy. Tang Zhou sat stiffly on the sofa. When he saw me emerge, he instantly stood. What would you like for breakfast? I don't need breakfast. Let's just make lunch. 2 dishes, 1 meat, 1 vegetable. The meat should be spicy, and the vegetable will stir-fry simply. All the while, I kept watching his expression. Since he didn't seem impressed by my outfit, I decided to switch up my style tomorrow. Okay. Tang Zhou turned and headed straight for the kitchen. He cooked with unwavering focus. I couldn't help but quietly snap a few photos of his flawless profile with my phone. That was it, the missing piece in my little black room. His photos. The chat room exploded with comments calling me a pervert. Yes, I was a pervert, but only for Tang Zhou. Tang Zhou moved quickly, finishing dinner in under an hour. Besides the 2 dishes, meat and vegetable, he also made a seaweed and egg drop soup. Though his cooking certainly wasn't as good as the housekeeper's, I felt deeply satisfied and happily finished every bit alongside him. After the meal, he first washed the pots and pans, then brought out freshly washed fruit. He hesitated, then asked with a look of uncertainty, should I wash your dirty clothes too? I knew exactly what he was asking, whether he should skip the underwear and innerwear. But of course, I wanted him to wash them. I was playing a game, acting casual. Yeah. Tang Zhou stood still for a few seconds, then sighed in resignation and walked off. Not long after, the chat room went completely wild. Boy 2's about to turn red hot. Maybe I'm weird, but seeing Boy 2 awkwardly holding Miss 2's underwear made me, well, you know, the second female lead is so seductive. She'll eventually devour the second male lead completely. How pitiful. Suck in, nice. He still knows to wash them separately. The second male lead's quite the responsible dad type. Through the live chat, I learned Tang Zhou's reaction. I myself got a thrill from it. I just love his innocent, shy demeanor. It stirs up all those dark, mischievous urges deep inside me. After washing the clothes, Tang Zhou began cleaning the house. I said, you don't need to clean the other bedrooms besides the master one. There were 3 bedrooms in total. The master bedroom was mine. The guest room was occupied by the housekeeper, and the secondary bedroom I'd turned into a soundproofed secret room, which couldn't be discovered by him yet. Tang Zhou nodded. All right. The second female lead deliberately scattered her intimate clothes all over the bed. See how flustered the second male lead will get again, baby. Sneak into the secondary bedroom. It's full of surprises, loads of toys inside. Yuri's such a bad influence, but I'm also really looking forward to it. In real life, stay far away from women like the second female lead, but if she's just fictional, I just want her to hurry up. This second male lead is clearly perfect for 4i. I agree with the above. Reading the chat, I realized I wasn't the only one with such twisted excitement. Seeing others even more eager than me put my mind at ease. 10 minutes later, Tang Zhou emerged, his face flushed. Cleaning's done. Clothes are all arranged. I smiled warmly. Handing him another game controller. Good job. Take a break. Let's play some games together. Okay. Tang Zhou probably rarely played games, but he picked up quickly, mastering the controls in no time. After an hour, I was tired and lazily flopped onto the sofa. My skirt slipped slightly upward, revealing a sliver of smooth, pale thigh. Tang Zhou glanced at it out of the corner of his eye and immediately averted his gaze. What's for dinner? Water-boiled beef with spicy sauce. I love bold flavors, just like I love intense, fiery emotions. After dinner, I enrolled Tang Zhou's fingerprint into the smart door lock system, then dismissed him to go home. His family, old and sick, needed more care than I did. As I thought about that, a new issue struck me. Before locking him away, I'd have to schedule his younger sister's heart surgery first. Otherwise, he'd never feel safe staying. I set an alarm for 9 p.m. Shortly after the alarm woke me, Tang Zhou messaged me that he'd arrived. I told him to let himself in. Today he wore sporty casual clothes, yet he still didn't react unusually, so I decided to try a different style tomorrow, just like the day before. After lunch he started washing clothes and cleaning. Afterward, I pulled him back to play games again. When one round ended, I stood up to get a drink, but suddenly my leg went numb, my balance faltered, and I nearly fell. I acted on instinct, lurching toward Tang Zhou. He didn't betray my trust. He caught me. Be careful. I decided to play it up, pretending I couldn't move. I leaned fully into him, groaning as I said, my leg's numb, can't move, don't move me yet, I need to recover a little. Tang Zhou instinctively pushed my hands away but froze in place, his face blushing. Okay, his scent was wonderful, just a faint trace of laundry detergent. It drove me crazy. And in my distraction, I forgot time entirely. Some time later, he whispered hesitantly. Are you better now? I snapped back to reality, quickly scrambling off him with a bashful expression, deliberately pressing my hand against his thigh. I did that on purpose. Tang Zhou let out a soft groan with a flushed face, his whole countenance turning even redder, almost too cherry bright to bear. After I stood up, he jumped to his feet. I'll go make dinner. He forgot to ask what I wanted to eat before rushing into the kitchen. 3 minutes later, he poked his head out from behind the glass door, asking, what do you want for dinner? I licked my lips, fighting down the urge to say, I want you, chili chicken, please. Got it. Did the second female just imply she wanted to eat up the second male? Probably true, you're right. The second female just wouldn't get off the second male's lap, probably already fantasizing about devouring him completely. The second female has such a strong stalker girl vibe. I love it. Even better if she drags him down faster. A clattering sound came from the kitchen. My attention shifted from the live chat comments as I walked toward the kitchen door and gently pushed it open. What happened? I asked, concerned. Tang Zhou held a basin in his hand, shaking his head. Nothing. I just lost my grip and dropped it. Need any help? Tang Zhou shook his head frantically. No, you keep playing your game. You go ahead. I can handle this myself. All right. Call me if you need anything. Sure. I closed the sliding door and returned to the living room. Well then, seeing him in an apron, cooking, how tempting he looked, I was afraid I'd lose control and start touching him again, just like yesterday. Once Tang Zhou finished washing the dishes, I urged him to go home. On the third day, it was overcast. I'd been cooped up at home for several days, so I decided to go out for a bit. Tang Zhou became a companion guy, accompanying me for eating, drinking, and playing. In the afternoon, I went to the mall to buy clothes. Every time I tried on a new outfit, I'd walk over to him and ask, "How does this look?" Of course, my expression was innocent and pure, as if I were genuinely seeking his opinion. "Tang Zhou, how about this one? Looks good." "What about this one? Looks good too." "How about this one? Looks good as well." Finally, I came out in a pure and sensual fishtail dress. "How about this one?" I spun in front of him. Tang Zhou's eyes brightened for a brief moment, like he'd been burned, before quickly looking away. He stammered, "Why yeah, it's really good." I was thrilled. I'd finally hit his sweet spot. I leaned in close, whispering just loud enough for only him to hear. "I'll wear it for you tomorrow." "Okay." The shy, soft-spoken boy turned instantly red, like a ripe apple, struggling to form any words. "Don't answer." "Then I'll take that as a yes." After saying that, I stepped back and turned toward the cashier's counter to check out. Turns out, Tang Zhou likes a little sexy appeal after all. In fact, I personally enjoy bold, flamboyant styles too, but I'd kept my wardrobe conservative earlier, consciously mimicking Lin Ruowei's white flower character. I think, without the script controlling us, Tang Zhou and I would have been a perfect match, but destiny, the script, can't be ignored. Later that evening, as we were eating at a hot pot restaurant, Lin Ruowei came to serve us as a waitress. When she approached my table, she stumbled, knocking the plate full of beef straight onto my shoulder. I was a little upset, but I bit my tongue. First, I didn't want Tang Zhou to think I was someone who takes advantage of every little thing. Second, I didn't want to anger her and risk making my adoptive parents dislike me, because as long as they didn't hate me, they'd keep giving me those thrilling, cash pump bursts. Flustered, Lin Ruowei frantically grabbed tissues to dab at my clothes, tears welling up in her eyes. "I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to." I smiled politely. "No problem, I've got clean clothes. Just need to." I picked up a casual outfit, then walked into the restroom. I tossed my dirty clothes straight into the trash bin. When I stepped back out, Lin Ruowei was still standing beside the table, trembling, wiping tears. Tang Zhou frowned, speaking softly, as if trying to comfort her. That sight stabbed at my eyes. I fought back my anger, kept my expression neutral, and walked over. "Today I don't feel like eating hot pot anymore. Let's change restaurants." Tang Zhou immediately grabbed his shopping bag and followed me. "All right." Lin Ruowei rushed after me. "Hey, miss. How much was your outfit? Let me pay for it." I forced a faint smile. "It's not that expensive, no need to replace it." She hesitated in place, then stopped chasing after me. The barrage of comments surged again. "Looks like the second male lead is still the female lead." Second male lead. After all, falling for her is clearly his fate. Medicine. I want to see the story of a stalker girl and a pure-hearted boy. The second female lead seems to have sensed the subtle connection between the female lead and the second male lead. "Be careful, second male lead, otherwise you'll be getting your own personal little black room tonight." Tang Zhou suddenly slowed his pace, but quickly recovered. I didn't notice anything odd. The comments made me nervous. Stepping out of the hot pot restaurant, I suddenly turned back and asked Tang Zhou, "Do you like that girl just now?" Tang Zhou took half a step back, stammering, I don't like her." I narrowed my eyes and challenged, "Really?" Tang Zhou seemed genuinely frightened, babbling, "No, she's not the type I like." "Girl, keep it under control. Your second male lead's almost crying." "Seriously, don't be this obvious about your obsession. You'll scare the poor little angel." Skip ahead to the imprisonment scene already. I can't wait. Slurp. "Hey, your drool just landed on my face. Mind your manners." I suppressed the dark aura surrounding me and gave him an innocent smile. "I believe you." I was about to ask if he wanted to go eat Sichuan food when my phone suddenly rang. It was my foster older brother, Wen Dong. They only called me when mom had a relapse, and this was no exception. I had to rush back to the villa in the city immediately. "My brother's calling me back. Go return the clothes to Fenglin International and head home." "Okay." Mom had relapsed again. As expected, she first embraced me tightly, whispering how much she loved and missed me, then suddenly shoved me away violently, screaming and cursing at me. "Why are you pretending to be my daughter? Get out of my sight." My foster father and brother rushed in, pulling us apart. My foster father held mom gently, soothing her while when you gestured for me to follow him outside, when you looked genuinely regretful. Mom didn't mean it. I'll transfer 500,000 to you. Buy whatever you want. I forced a smile. Thank you, brother, anytime. Seeing nothing else to say, I quietly left. I was only 2 when I was adopted, and at first I didn't know I wasn't their real child. I just couldn't understand why Mom would suddenly adore me one moment, then hate me the next. Then, when I was 12, I accidentally overheard Mom telling Dad she didn't need a replacement and told him to send me back to the orphanage. I can't describe how I felt, just deep sadness and fear. I hid under my blanket, sobbing until my body went numb, my breathing nearly stopped. Thankfully, Dad didn't send me away. He just made me move out of the villa, only summoned me back when needed, and when I came back, it was exactly like earlier. I know I should be grateful. Without them, I wouldn't be living a life of luxury and comfort now, but sometimes, I still feel a tiny pang of bitterness. I don't even remember how I got home. The house was pitch black, no light at all, just like my dim, lifeless existence. I curled myself into the corner of the sofa, and couldn't hold back the tears. Just like when I was 12, I soon sobbed myself into numbness, unable to breathe. I know it's not serious. Once my emotions settle, I'll be fine, but the thought of a life without love, it just won't stop the sorrow. I even found myself wishing I could open the window and jump off. The idea took root, impossible to suppress. I stood up, slowly dragging myself toward the enormous floor-to-ceiling window. The comments exploded. Girl, don't do it. Even if you don't have love, you have money. There's always a sad story behind a hateful person. I suddenly feel bad for the girl, having been treated like that all my life. My emotional wounds must be really deep. I suddenly understand why the second female lead's love is so twisted. Maybe she's just so afraid of being abandoned again that she's become obsessive and extreme. But that doesn't excuse breaking the law. It's just a TV drama. Watch it and leave it at that. The second female lead wouldn't actually jump off the building, would she? Please don't do something like that. I stood at the edge of the window, preparing to fall, when suddenly the door swung open. Xinwen, are you home? I slowly turned around, meeting Tang Zhou's eyes in the darkness. I forgot something, Tang Zhou said, apologetically. I took a deep breath and said calmly, go look for it yourself. I didn't see it. All right. He walked toward the dining table and seemed to shove something from the table into his pocket. Did you finish eating? I'll make you dinner, Tang Zhou asked me while standing beside the table. It was too dark for me to make out his expression. His sudden interruption distracted me. I wasn't quite as eager to die anymore, and it wouldn't be proper to jump right in front of him, so I nodded. Okay, what would you like? Keep it simple, just make some noodles, tomato and egg noodles. Sounds good, Tang Zhou sheepishly said. How do I turn on the living room light? I haven't figured it out yet. Let me handle it. I stepped back into the living room and switched on the light. Play some games for a bit. I'll be done soon. All right. Tang Zhou headed into the kitchen. I stayed in the living room for a moment before turning toward the bathroom to wash my face. Less than 10 minutes later, Tang Zhou came out carrying a big bowl of noodles. Done. I hadn't eaten dinner, so I was actually quite hungry and finished the entire large bowl. After sipping the last bit of soup, I let out a satisfied belch. Delicious. Feeling full made me even less inclined to die. I still have plans for Tang Zhou. So dying now would be too unfair. Tang Zhou smiled happily. Glad you liked it. Really liked it. I nodded vigorously. I'd like anything he made. Tang Zhou hesitated. That game is really fun. I could play it a bit more, right? Without thinking, I said, sure, I like it too. Let's play together. Time passed quickly in happiness. Before I knew it, it was already 12 o'clock. Yawning, I reminded Tang Zhou, you should head home now. Grandma and your little sister will worry. Tang Zhou scratched his head, blushing. Little Roy's been doing fine these past few days. No rush. I think I'm getting a bit hungry. Want a late-night snack? I can make it. I hadn't planned on eating, but hearing that, I suddenly felt intrigued. No need to cook. Let's go out. How about barbecue? Great. I'll treat you today. If you're treating me, then I'm not going. Then you treat me. After over 30 minutes. We arrived at the nearest barbecue restaurant and ordered a full table of food. We ate and talked with beers, mostly discussing school choices and majors. Just as in the script, Tang Zhou was planning to apply to the city's top medical university. I wanted to stay close to him, so my target was the comprehensive university right across the street. Today, Tang Zhou seemed particularly happy, and we drank cup after cup together. I don't drink often, so I was already drunk after just a few sips. Not wanting to spoil his mood, I forced myself to drink a couple more. Only when things started looking blurry did I finally wave my hand in surrender. Even though I was drunk, I knew what I could say and what I absolutely couldn't. In the end, Tang Zhou took a taxi to bring me home. I only remember falling asleep in the car, completely blank on how I actually made it back. When I woke up, I found myself back in bed. I took a moment, then pulled back the covers. My clothes were intact. Just my shoes were off. I opened the door and stepped out of my bedroom, only to see Tang Zhou sleeping on the living room sofa. The noise wasn't loud, but it was enough to wake him up. He sat up dazedly, rubbing his eyes before finally looking at me. "Are you hungry? I'll cook something." I hurriedly shook my head. "Not yet, let's wait a bit." Tang Zhou thought for a moment and said, "I'll go buy groceries first, then come back and cook. I'll tidy up and go with you, all right?" I remembered I'd promised to wear that mermaid-style dress for Tang Zhou yesterday. I couldn't back down on my word. After putting on the dress, I gave myself a sultry yet innocent-looking makeup, then sauntered out. "Does it look good?" I twirled in front of Tang Zhou, playfully asking. As expected, Tang Zhou blushed again. "Very good, let's go buy groceries. What are we having today?" "Spicy dry pot shrimp." "Okay." My natural look was already slightly mature, and this styling made me appear even more alluringly grown-up. As we stepped out of the apartment building, people kept glancing at us. Tang Zhou's blush never faded. I couldn't help teasing him. "You know, we must look just like those short videos, those young stepmothers and their stepson." Tang Zhou turned even redder, almost as if his face could bleed. The pure-hearted second male lead is so irresistible. No wonder the villainess schemed so hard to get him. Ha ha ha. Tang Zhou is 100% compatible with the little black room. I can't wait to see the forced romance scene. Why can't I fast forward? I just want the ending. I don't care about the boring process. I smiled silently. If Tang Zhou stayed this obedient, I'd never dare lock him in the little black room. His blush lingered until I got home and changed into casual clothes. During dinner, I casually asked, "Is your sister's heart condition suitable for surgery?" Tang Zhou paused, then nodded gently. "Yes." "Is it an appropriate time now?" Tang Zhou lowered his head in shame. "Yes." I knew he was blaming himself for not having enough money to afford his sister's surgery, but he was still just a teenager, 18 or 19. He'd chosen medicine because of her. Originally, I planned to wait until our relationship grew closer before offering to lend him money for surgery, but the plot had veered off course, and I couldn't guarantee Lin Ruowei wouldn't return to the Wen family early, so I decided not to wait. Better to act now, before things got complicated. "How about this? Let's make a deal." Tang Zhou gripped his chopsticks nervously. "What kind of deal?" I smiled warmly at him, gently guiding the conversation. "I'll pay for your sister's surgery. In return, you look after me until you've repaid the debt." The villainess is literally a wolf in sheep's clothing. Her smile is terrifying. Just give in to her, Tang Zhou. What's a lifetime of freedom compared to this? What a perfect, obsessive girl luring a pure-hearted boy. So romantic. I'm obsessed. To my surprise, Tang Zhou was quicker than I expected. After thinking for less than half a minute, he nodded. "All right." I felt satisfied. "Then it's settled. Find a doctor quickly and schedule the surgery. The summer break is long. Won't interfere with your studies or your sister's." Tang Zhou nearly lowered his head all the way to the table, nodding meekly. "Yes." I struggled to suppress a smirk. Perfect. I was one step closer to having Tang Zhou all to myself. I was even more eager than he was. Immediately after dinner, I pushed him to contact Tang Rui's attending physician. The doctor said they should come in the next day for a full examination. After dinner, I urged Tang Zhou to head home and prepare, then arranged to meet up at the hospital the next day. At 7 the next morning, I got up and headed straight to the hospital to meet Tang Zhou. Tang Rui was a quiet, gentle girl. She shyly whispered, "Thank you, big sister." Hearing the word, big sister, an odd sense of responsibility stirred in my chest. I made up my mind. I'd do everything to heal her heart condition. The attending physician roughly calculated the total cost, 800,000 yuan for surgery and hospitalization. An advance deposit of 800,000 was required. I handed Tang Zhou my card and told him to go pay the deposit. Tang Rui is currently in good health, and her surgery is scheduled for 1 week from now. We parted at the hospital entrance. I told Tang Zhou to stay home and take care of his sister, but after dropping Tang Rui off, he came straight to Fenglin International. Not only did he bring groceries, but he also brought along his own indenture contract. It clearly stated the loan amount and his promise to work as my servant until the debt was fully repaid. At my disposal. Though I was surprised, I was genuinely happy. Pretending to jest, I said, "You actually brought me a slave contract." "Of course, I was just kidding, but since you gave it to me, I'll keep it." After dinner, I urged Tang Zhou to go home and stay with Tang Rui, telling him not to come over until after her surgery. Although the doctor said the operation had a high success rate, it was still a high-risk procedure. The girl might not admit it, but deep down she must be scared, and she needs her family by her side. Tang Zhou agreed without protest. The second female lead is so kind, she probably won't take the villainous path. I like that there's no female rivalry. The second female and male lead are truly adorable together. I hope they end up happily, even though the main couple is sweet. This pairing has more depth. 1 week later, Tang Rui underwent surgery as scheduled. Tang Zhou's grandmother also came. The elderly woman kept thanking me repeatedly. The surgery went smoothly, but Tang Rui needed to stay in the hospital for a prolonged observation period. I hired a nurse to care for her one-on-one. Tang Zhou wanted to cook for Tang Rui himself, since my place was close to the hospital. I asked him to prepare meals at Fenglin International and bring them over, while also taking care of my own meals. Tang Zhou agreed. During that time, I learned from the live chat that Song Rui had already met Lin Ruowei earlier and noticed that Lin Ruowei bore a striking resemblance to her foster mother. He was planning to secretly conduct a paternity test for them. Tang Rui recovered well. Less than half a month later, the doctor said she could be discharged. I came to the hospital on the day of her release, coincidentally. As I entered the hospital alongside Tang Zhou, we encountered Song Rui, who was accompanying Lin Ruowei for a checkup. We glanced at each other briefly, then acted as if we didn't know one another, both turning our gaze away, but Lin Ruowei suddenly called out to Tang Zhou, "Tang Zhou." Tang Zhou looked at her, puzzled. Lin Ruowei stared at him, hesitating, as if wanting to say something but unable to speak. Tang Zhou, utterly confused, said, "We have other things to do, if you're okay. We'll be going now." Lin Ruowei glanced at me, then laughed awkwardly. "I'm fine." I felt uneasy. My intuition told me something was off about Lin Ruowei. Could she see the live chat too? The thought startled me. Suddenly, I turned to Tang Zhou and asked, "If one day I told you something completely opposite to what that girl just said, would you believe me or her?" Tang Zhou stared at me, surprised. "I don't know her. Why would I believe her?" Seeing his matter-of-fact response, I relaxed a little. I joined Tang Zhou to pick up Tang Rui upon her discharge, then stopped by his house for a meal. Tang Zhou lived in an old residential neighborhood. He watched me carefully, as if worried I'd be disappointed or uncomfortable. If I'd grown up in an orphanage, I might have never lived in such a place. His grandmother's cooking was delicious. I ate 2 bowls of rice. At first, the grandmother was nervous about my visit, but seeing how much I enjoyed her food, she finally let out a relieved smile. She even invited me to come by again anytime. After dinner, we sat for a while before I called it a night. Tang Zhou walked me down to the ground floor. I told him to spend more time with Tang Rui. No need to come cook for me anymore. The next day, college entrance exam scores were released. Both Tang Zhou and I did well, according to past year's cutoff scores. We'd easily get into our desired universities. In the afternoon, my adoptive father called to ask how I did. Hearing I scored over 670, he was extremely pleased and urged me to apply to the finance university or the law university. Just as he preferred, I verbally agreed, but privately filled out my school and major preferences according to my own taste. Soon enough, Lin Ruowei will be returning to the Wen family. By then, he won't have the time or energy to care about which school or major I chose. Tang Zhou came to cook for me again 3 days later. After spending some time together, I clearly felt our relationship gradually growing more flirtatious. I was happy about this change. That way, I wouldn't have to lock him in the little black room. More than half a month later, I received my university admission notice. My adoptive father assumed I had been accepted by the school he'd picked out for me, and announced that he'd thrown a graduation celebration for me, insisting I return home to attend. He also planned to announce my engagement to Song Rui at the dinner. From the live chat stream, I learned that Song Rui would expose in front of everyone that Lin Ruowei was the real heir to the Wen family. After that, everyone would rush to surround Lin Ruowei, leaving me ignored and sidelined. I didn't care. As long as my adoptive father kept sending me money, I was fine, so I went back. Sure enough, just as my adoptive father was about to announce my engagement to Song Rui. Song Rui walked in with Lin Ruowei. He stepped on stage, gripped the microphone, and declared aloud that Lin Ruowei was the true biological daughter who had been lost from the Wen family. He even produced a DNA test report. My adoptive older brother confirmed the identity. Lin Ruowei looked remarkably similar to my adoptive mother, and had a faint birthmark on her body. My adoptive parents had no doubts. Immediately embraced Lin Ruowei as their own, watching the tearful, joyful reunion of the family. I quietly slipped out of the banquet hall. I couldn't understand why, when Song Rui could have told my adoptive parents the truth privately, did he insist on revealing it in public. I'll admit, before I even saw the live chat, I had once expressed affection for him, swayed by the storyline, but I never caused him trouble, nor had I ever tormented Lin Ruowei. Still, he chose to humiliate me publicly. I couldn't understand it. The live chat users expressed sympathy and comfort, but their cold words could do nothing to warm my body or soul. Dazed and heartbroken, I stumbled out the mansion's front door, unable to hold back the flood of negative emotions pouring in. I sank to my knees, hugging my legs and sobbing. Unknowingly, a warm embrace wrapped around me. I stared upwards, eyes blurred with tears, only to see Tang Zhou. I just stared at him, stunned for a long time, before finally choking out, "Why you came?" I said, "Today was your graduation party, right? I wanted to bring you a gift." "You're so silly. What if I hadn't come out today? If you're busy, just call when you're done." "Could you really refuse me?" Tang Zhou asked with a smile. I shook my head frantically. "Of course I'd see you." "Then it's settled. Let's go home and I'll cook for you." I nodded vigorously. "Yes." Tang Zhou bent down and scooped me up effortlessly. Despite his slender frame, he carried me like it was nothing. We hailed a cab and returned to Maple Woods International. Tang Zhou made tomato and egg noodles. After cleaning the kitchenware, I lay on the sofa and held out my hands. "Where's my gift?" Tang Zhou reached into his pocket and pulled out a small jewelry box. Inside was a heart-shaped model made of clay, tiny, only about half the size of an egg. Before I even realized what was happening, the live chat exploded. AAH. The second male lead just gave his heart to the second heroine. In the original plotline, it was meant for the main heroine. Seems the second male lead has truly switched his feelings, but I support him. "You smart guy, you've officially avoided getting locked in the black room." I clutched the little heart and stared at Tang Zhou with wide, hopeful eyes. "Did you give me your heart?" Tang Zhou nodded solemnly. "Yes." I leapt up from the sofa, excited, then jumped into his arms. Tang Zhou caught me effortlessly. I cupped his face for a few seconds, then pressed my lips down firmly against his. Like sparks igniting a wildfire, desire flared instantly, irresistible and uncontrollable. Why did it go black? What's so exclusive that my noble VIP lady can't see? Even my VVIP status can't access it. Don't even mention you, regular VIP. I'm together with Tang Zhou now. So smoothly it feels almost unreal. I lack security. Even though he loves me deeply, still, I'm anxious, constantly fearing he might leave me at any moment, but I can't show it. I'm afraid my true self will only accelerate his disgust, so I silently bear these negative emotions. I've thought about destroying the black room, but considering there might come a time when Tang Zhou wants to leave me, I decided against it. The next day after my adoptive parents reconciled with Lin Ruowei, they suddenly remembered me. They said I'd always be their daughter, and nothing about my treatment would change. I felt content and expressed deep gratitude. They were pleased with my understanding and even invited me to visit home often. I happily agreed. during the following holidays, most of our time was spent at home, teenagers' desires are intense, and Tang Zhou always asked me for things with shy, hesitant looks. His contrast completely overwhelmed me. Although I felt slightly overwhelmed, I couldn't bring myself to refuse his insatiable needs. It also kept me from obsessing over all the ways he might not love me. I thought life could go on like this, quietly, comfortably, until one night, while I was sound asleep, I was startled awake by shouting from outside. Lin Ruowei cried out anxiously, "Tang Zhou, do you know how twisted Wenqin is? She turned the second bedroom into a secret room, intending to lock you up." Tang Zhou remained silent. Lin Ruowei continued relentlessly, "Wenqin suffers from mental illness. She's dangerous. You should take her to a doctor, not risk yourself this way." Still, Tang Zhou said nothing. Song Rui snapped, "Wei Wei, if he won't listen, that's his problem. He'll have to suffer the consequences." But Lin Ruowei refused to let go. "Have you considered what happens if she locks you up? What about your studies, your grandmother and little sister? You don't believe me? Then I'll open the second bedroom for you to see." Where she got the key, I don't know, but I clearly heard the lock click as she turned the key and opened the door. At that moment, I felt like I'd plunged into ice water. My whole body froze, a chilling numbness seeping through every bone. I collapsed weakly to my knees, hugging my legs tightly and sobbing silently. He found out. He'll see me as a monster now. Finally, he's going to leave me, but I've lost the courage and confidence I once had to forcibly keep him imprisoned. Lin Ruowei's right. He'd be trapped. And what about his future? What about his studies? His grandmother, his little sister? This isn't just about us two, it involves others as well. Besides, I couldn't bear to destroy another person's life just to satisfy my own obsessive need for control. Then I'll just rot alone in the mud. I cried until my body went numb and I could barely breathe, just as I thought I might pass out. I was suddenly lifted into strong arms. Tang Zhou whispered softly into my ear, "Xian, Xian, I've known exactly what kind of person you are all along. That's precisely why I love you. Others might think your love is crazy and suffocating, but to me, it's just right. Give me all your love, all of it, only to me, okay?" I looked up at him, stunned, my eyes filled with tears, trembling as I whispered, "How did you find out?" Tang Zhou let out a soft laugh. "I saw the comments earlier than you did." I gripped his collar tightly in panic. He smiled again. "I fell for you earlier than you ever fell for me. Every move you made, your schemes, your plans, including your secret black room, I've dreamed of them. So, why don't we go try it right now?" I couldn't help but mutter, "You're so twisted. If I weren't twisted, I wouldn't have fallen for such a twisted little girl like you. So we're meant for each other. Of course we are. There's one more secret I'll tell you." "What is it?" "I installed cameras in the living room." I was surprised, but soon understood. "You're afraid I'd commit suicide." Tang Zhou nodded gently. "And also, I just want to see you all the time." Oh my God, so Tang Zhou really was a pervert even more twisted than me. Pervert and pervert were the perfect match. Thus began our shameless, blissful life together. I maintained a distant but polite relationship with my adoptive parents. After graduating from university, I politely declined their monthly allowances, and they didn't insist. However, when I married Tang Zhou, they gave me 1% of their company's shares as a dowry, worth hundreds of millions. I couldn't refuse. Lin Ruowei apologized sincerely for involving Tang Zhou in exposing me. She said she didn't know the truth, and since both of us were willing, she thought she was only trying to persuade Tang Zhou to get me help. Naturally, I forgave her. From then on, she never bothered me again, treating me with genuine respect. In those first few years after graduation, Tang Zhou didn't earn much, but as his experience and fame grew, so did his income, eventually becoming quite substantial. Yet he handed everything over to me without hesitation, then received only meager pocket money from my hands. When I tried to give him more, he refused firmly, saying it would ruin the fun of saving his own personal stash. What could I do? I could only support his peculiar pleasure. After hearing the two stories above, what are your thoughts? Feel free to share your opinions in the comments section. Looking forward to hearing from you. If you liked this story, don't forget to like it, share it, and subscribe to my channel. See you next time.